To start with, I'd like to just say that I had a very difficult choice tonight. I was also asked to speak at the US Embassy tonight in the solidarity protest with Ukraine and against Donald Trump's withdrawal of aid from that country's battle for self-determination. What we are witnessing now is the rise of Russian and US imperialism in alliance with each other to carve up Ukraine. Putin wants the territory, Trump wants the minerals. That is the new imperialism. And for LGBT plus Ukrainians, a Russian victory would be a devastating blow. It would mean the imposition of Russian-style laws on LGBT plus Ukrainians, never mind all the other civic and political repressions that would take place in that country. The trade union movement in Ukraine would be wound up and shut down. Women's rights campaigners would be subject to severe repression, and so on and so on. So this is a very real moment where we need to show the kind of international solidarity that the Gay Liberation Front showed back in the early 1970s, when we stood in solidarity with the people of Vietnam against US aggression, with the people in Greece battling against the colonel's junta, with the people in Spain fighting the Franco dictatorship. We saw our struggle as being international and not just limited to LGBT plus rights, but to a broader democratic human rights movement. So to go back to your question, history shows that if you care about something, don't just care, do something. Action equals life. Silence equals death. So we have to get organized. And for young people who feel passionate, get involved with an organization that's doing something. There are many organizations across Britain and around the world that need financial support, need support for their online campaigns, and need solidarity. So some young people I know, they make a point of going to pride parades in more repressive European countries like Georgia, Hungary, Poland, and so on. They do that to show their support and solidarity. And no one can underestimate the moral and emotional support of solidarity. For people operating under dictatorship or repressive regimes, to have that solidarity from people outside their country, that is a huge, massive morale boost. To think that other people care, it's psychologically incredibly uplifting. The other thing I'd say is, don't just think you have to work with LGBT plus movements. A lot of the work I do is not LGBT plus focused. It's supporting the liberation movements in Indonesian-occupied West Papua, the Balochistan freedom struggle against Pakistan's occupation, the struggle of the Arab Oasis in Iran against subjugation by Tehran. And I don't do this for LGBT plus reasons. I do it because they have a just freedom fight, just like the people of Ukraine or Palestine or anywhere else. And because I'm known to be gay, that has forced many of those people to rethink their attitudes towards LGBT plus people. I remember Balochistan is a very tribal, patriarchal, quite, in ways, quote unquote, backward society. But because I've been one of the champions of their freedom cause for the last 2 decades and got them huge publicity through the press and TV and so on, I'm now well known in many parts of Balochistan, and people keep on saying to me, little emails, oh, you know, I used to hate homosexuals, I used to believe all these terrible things, but you've stood with us. I'm now rethinking my attitude. I now realize I've been bamboozled by all this propaganda and religious nonsense. You know, if you support us, we support you. And I think that's really, really, really important. And it does apply right across the board. You know, I do a lot, I've been for 50 years campaigning to support the people of Palestine for their right to a homeland. Again, as an openly gay man, and time again, Muslim people say to me, oh, you know, I used to hate you, I used to hate gays, but your support over the decades has changed my mind. And so, if you're young, get involved in these movements as an open LGBT plus person. Show that we as LGBTs support their struggle. Initially, they may not support ours, but if you stick with it, you'll not only be supporting a good cause, you'll be helping to transform people's consciousness to be more pro-LGBT.
Thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. That must have been a very challenging decision.
No time to even say I love you, 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 I love you. No time to even say I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I've got a name, will be the general.